Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel Curate HQ, where we talk about everything tech, mainly centered around cybersecurity, DevOps engineering, and just basically all tech trends. So today I'm going to be talking about the operating system. So I'm not going to spend much time talking about this because it's kind of like a prelude to something I want to introduce you to, which is called Linux. So an operating system is basically just like the manager of your computer, right? So like you have your computer hardware and then you have your operating system. It manages all processes on the computers. Without it, you won't be able to run applications. You won't be able to interact with your computer system. It's responsible for the user interface, allocating memory to applications, helping things run. So immediately you boot into your computer, the first thing that starts all the processes is your operating system. So the Windows operating system was created by Microsoft. This is heavy on the GUI, like the graphical user interface. Windows has a lot of icons, menus. You can easily maneuver through a Windows system. It's easy to operate, it's easy to go through. Windows also has a vast library. There are so many applications for the Windows operating system, whether it's Office suite you're looking for, programming tools, video editing tools, games, whatever you need. Windows has a vast library of softwares. In terms of purchase, Windows is not a free operating system. You actually need to purchase a license to be able to use Windows commercially. And then you have the Linux operating system. Linux operating system traditionally was more text-based than the Windows operating system. So what do I mean by this? It didn't make much use of a graphical user interface. It used the command line. But in recent times, most distributions of Linux use a graphical user interface. Like they have a graphical user interface, but people still mainly use Linux through the command line. Linux is open source, so it's free. It's free to download, it's free to modify. You can modify it, you can create your own version, whatever you want. Linux in itself is not really an operating system per se, it's a kernel. So the kernel is the core of the operating system. This is what is responsible for the allocation of memory to apps, for all the processes that the operating system does. The kernel is the core at everything. And this kernel is what's referred to as Linux. So when people say a Linux operating system, they are more or less referring to the distributions that make use of this Linux kernel. Now you have things like Ubuntu, you have Kali Linux, you have CentOS. There are various Linux distributions. You even have Amazon Linux. So I'm just going to give you like a brief look at what the Linux operating system looks like and what the Windows operating system looks like. And in further videos, we're going to dive more in depth into the Linux operating system, where I'll be showing you some commands to run to set up a directory, to move files, copy files, create text. I'll show you some Linux editors and other things. Now this is a CentOS system. I am running it on my VMware. We'll talk about virtualization in a different video, but just know that I'm running CentOS on this. So you can see it has a graphical user interface, but it's not as nice as the one on my Windows system. Although I can edit this, I can modify it however I want, but I prefer to just leave it the way it is because I mainly use my terminal. So let me show you what the Linux terminal looks like. Now this is my Linux terminal. Okay, so I want to create a directory now, and all I'm going to do is just type in this command. Let's call our directory text, and as you can see, it's been created. So if I want to remove my directory, I run my rmdir command, put the directory name, and that's that. Same way, if I want to create a file, if I want to create a text file, I just touch text.txt and it's been created. To remove the file, I just use my rm file name and it's been removed. So that is basically your Windows and your Linux operating system. This is just a brief overview. In our next video, we're going to dive deeper into the Linux operating system. Can't wait to see you guys. Bye.